What are you even listening to, Beethoven? Your ears don't even work. Every year I have Thanksgiving in a castle. Is it a real castle? No. But my parents' exquisite antiques, collectibles, china placement, and meal is outstanding. And anybody who's been to dinner at my parents' house, they would agree. Your beautiful linen will actually be wrapped in a Buckingham Palace crested silver napkin ring. I have had Thanksgiving with my parents every single year that I've been alive. And this is the first time that I will not be at their exquisite dining room table for Thanksgiving. And this is what I would have worn to dinner that evening. But I will have it a week later when I go and visit. When you arrive, there will be wine waiting for you. You will immediately discover the dining room table decked out in its finest Thanksgiving glory. We bring out the best china, but my parents always bring out the best china. They believe in using your china. And they're right. Why do we just keep it in shelves all the time collecting dust? My parents are so smart. This is just who they are. I ask anybody who walks through the door just to make us an offer because it does feel like you're going into an antique store. They just know how to place all of these collectibles to make it look absolutely exquisite. You do feel like you are walking into a castle or a palace. And not only is it exquisitely presented, my parents are amazing hosts. My dad does all the cooking. My dad does all. But my mom, she's the best hostess, and she does make these amazing favors because she is crafty, and the people who come every single year can hardly wait to see what did she come up with this year. She also makes homemade party crackers that we open after the meal before dessert. You will find scratch and win tickets in there and something that we will be doing together as a little competition or as a little game at the table before dessert. Let me tell you about dessert. We don't just have one dessert. No, my dad has to bake up a storm, and that's just what he does. He's always done that. This is what you can expect for dessert. You can expect a pumpkin pie, a lemon meringue pie, butterscotch pie, apple pie, raspberry pie, amazing butter tarts that are second to none. And if you know, you know. You can expect a 3-tier plate of English dainties in squares that you will not be able to resist. But let's go back to the beginning. When you arrive at my parents' house for Thanksgiving dinner, you immediately notice the table. But there is nobody in the world like my father who knows how to put a badass charcuterie board out. Anybody who comes to our house for dinner can never, ever refuse it. But at the same time, always make the comment, we could do without this because we know what's coming. The charcuterie board looks like a piece of art. You can't help but pick up a little china plate and indulge. But when it's time for dinner, we are going to start with a soup or a salad. I am talking about homemade soup, and it's going to be something that my father has perfected for that special occasion. It could be a butternut squash. It could be a spinach and pear topped with Stilton. You never know what you're going to get, but you never worry about what you're going to get. You are going to be fed on that Thanksgiving dinner day. Then we move along to the main course. Everything is brought out in different platters, and you can just help yourself. Of course, there's a variety of bread that you can choose from. And of course, we have our turkey dinner all cut up on a nice china platter. And I'm not talking about any turkey. We have to have a free-range, grass-fed turkey from the best grocery store ever because it is important for my parents to feed us well. I'm not mad about it. And the stuffing that my dad makes, oh no, not out of a package at all. It is a homemade stuffing, and you just can't resist it. Our dinner is pretty classic. We will do a mashed potato. My dad will do heirloom carrots, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. He will go all out with all the vegetables. Everybody is happy at that table. There is one thing that if he doesn't make, he knows he is in big trouble. If your casserole is not there, we'll get up from the table and we will actually leave. That is just not acceptable at the palace. It is so delicious that I literally have to say no to other things on the table just so I can have a double serving of that casserole dish. My mom is so crafty. She makes these little figurines out of food. It's amazing. Last dinner I was at, we had penguins made out of black olives and the pepper for the nose. Adorable. And not only do you have food creature at your table as an option to eat or just take home and admire until it wastes away and you have to throw it out. You have favors at your table. Candy, a little dish of chocolate right at your placing. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I get excited about those things. You can't tell me any different. There is one important thing that we should discuss though. My dad will always apologize for something. Oh, I left that on a little bit too long. Forgot to add this. It might be a little bland. I actually forgot to get the bread out of the oven. So that's ruined. But it wasn't ruined. If you know, you know. There is never going to be an issue when it comes to my dad's food. They go all out. Very genuine way. This is just what they like to do. This is how they treat their friends. They want to give them a great experience. They just want to share with one another and eat some good food. And one more thing, you will always go home with a goodie bag. He's going to pack up the best meal for you to have the next day. You can expect the museum, the antiques, the collectibles, all of the things that just makes them them. They are special people. And it's not till you get older and you think like, wow, my parents really know how to entertain. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, everyone. And here's the thing. No, they don't live in a palace. They don't live in a castle. But you really do feel like you are having Thanksgiving dinner at a castle. And I have proof.